Good morning. All right. Nice long weekend. Everybody's rested. Let's see where this week goes. Last week was, as far as the markets go, kind of a non-event of jiggling back and forth. So, and starting with SPX today, we usually go over SPX every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for zero data expiration option strategy calls and puts, spreads anyway. And I titled YouTube, "This Candlestick Pattern Better Not Fail." And I think it has historically a good opportunity to fail just because of the extent of the move off of the low that we've seen. Nonetheless, buyers show up on every dip. They've been programmed to do it. And in this, as of last week, were the most minuscule dips. They were relatively large intraday, but on the daily chart, really not much of a big deal. And you can see here, the dip down that occurred on Wednesday was kind of nasty, a little bit nasty on intraday anyway, but buyers stepped up again. And then on Thursday, and they stepped up again. And then on Friday, into the end of the day, it was, as you can see, the run up was, hey, this market ain't going down, so it must be going up. So just get long here. And, markets are up here, backing off a little bit pre-market, but I said, this pattern better not fail because you got this momentum move higher and this bullish sideways price action with bottoming tail bars, which says buyers are confident. So it's all about expectations when we look at charts, belief and expectations that are being displayed. Right? So this chart pattern displays unwavering belief that this market's going to go up. And maybe it is. Maybe this is heading up to 4,000. And you could see the longer term intraday pattern, the retest and the breakout that occurred on Friday. So, just looking at that without any in-depth understanding of the price action that we look at here at Master Trader, I mean, common sense tells you, hey, rally, sideways, buying the dip, back up again, breakout. If that fails, look out below. I'm not saying it is, but that's how we look at that. So now with the trend being up, any pullbacks, minor pullbacks, right? Same intraday pullbacks this morning should be buying opportunities with expectation that this consolidation is going to hold any downside price action, and it shouldn't fail. So with that being said, you got a relatively large open interest at 3,900. So as far as a put spread goes, I suggest going below 3,900. And we could go maybe if there's an intraday sell-off, the markets are going down a little bit now. And if they continue to drop a bit into some support, if they come down here, right? I mean, this isn't that far away. So they'd have to see them beginning to hold here or get way away from it because there's plenty of room for it to go down. So in the bullish case, look, it shouldn't even get to 3,900, and because that's below Friday's low. So theoretically, it shouldn't even go down there with this bar. And the puts are there, the open interest at 3,900. So maybe a little aggressive, but there isn't a big premium. But if this dips down, right, say into this area, then you can go down below 3,900. Those premiums will pick up. So on the upside, you've got 3,950 with about the same amount of larger open interests. Well, 39.60. So, and there's premium there. You could, interesting. There's juice at 39.65. And some of that might evaporate at the open since the markets are down a bit. But, might even go to 39.75 and see what the bid and ask is in the morning. So there's nothing up above. So we've got nothing to lean on, right? So, that's 39.50 is a potential stall point intraday. And so just looking at ranges and saying, expectation, normal range days, and where would that put us on a normal range day? 39.75, 35.80. We could take a look at, up there. All right. So let's see where the other markets are at. Yeah, 39.80. Okay. So you can see S&Ps are reaching up toward higher levels and backing off here. Some profit taking. Got a little head and shoulders kind of a pattern. It's breaking below the pivot lows here. It's got plenty of void below. We're right at the open, so we shall see. Weekly trend still looks bullish. Wide range bar reversal. We had the GME, worries and brought the market down kind of unexpectedly, and they just reversed right back up again. So bullish uptrend, wide range bar. From a weekly time frame, well, down below here, something's absolutely wrong, but let's just call the S&P's 3,800 would be about as far as we'd want to see any kind of a pullback into the middle of that bar to just keep everything intact. And even if we look at the daily, even if this level breaks, which I'm saying this pattern better not fail, this being in a strong uptrend, 20 rising, 50 rising, nice advance above the prior high. This would be a normal pullback in between the moving averages. And while we got a breakout failure up there, which would definitely put a fly in the ointment of getting through it with any kind of relative ease, a pullback into this area should be viewed as a buying opportunity in this time frame. And then, reverse, right? It's coming down. You look for this, look for this if it plays out larger, any kind of pattern and alignment with that bias. And similarly, NQs, you had the rally and push up, and it hasn't broken below the pivots here, but you can see the attempt to go higher, and now it's on support. Similar price action on the weekly, chopping lower here for the moment. Same story. This actually got a little further of its push from Friday, but you can see similar patterns. Buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, close strong. And so this bar is relatively wide in range, right? We're close to this, like, on this day, smaller than what it started out with. But, looking at this, I'm thinking, well, it's kind of the range is about the same as what's been going on last week, and it's backing off, which, it's just a thought. There's no confirmation we could say, but I'm thinking it ain't going higher than that today, now that it's backed off that far. So even if it does find some buyers here, I think the bullish case supports at the maximum, maybe a retest of the high, but we shall see if it can, buyers want to step up here. Russell, which has been strong. Now, when I look at this one, I see this consolidation, I'm saying climactic move to the upside, wide range bar. We reviewed that last week, and it backed off. Now, if this makes a lower high today, the software is going to mark this as a pivot high, that bar. But this is kind of textbook to form an M top. And even if it breaks out above the high here, if it fails from that, That's what we call, when we look at M tops and making a new high, you say, well, that's a bonus. Why is it a bonus? Because it totally sucked in longs and then failed. So I don't even have a completed bar today. But what we do here every day, pre-market, is look at what is, and then we speak about what might be based on what is in the moment. And then we see how close we are to some of our assumptions, right, based on the analysis the next day. So I point out this pattern, that even though if it makes a new high, this historically is what results in an M type of a pattern. So when you have a run like this, after it's been running for a while, it's unlikely to get this shallow a pullback and another big run. So all we have is historical norms when we look at patterns, but this type of a shallow pullback. So this pullback was relatively normal. This was a nice move. It was choppy, 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 and it pulls back into close to support there. And then it has a much stronger run than this one, because you see there's no overlapping bars. It just runs straight up and then the wide range bar. So historically, this is a pattern that would result in an M top. And then, of course, an M top suggests a move lower. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Do I have an internals chart here? I probably do. These things are so difficult to find since having to redo everything. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So breadth. I'm trying to adjust this here. Breadth got to an extreme up here, and sentiment has just been staying up here in these upper bands. This is norm. This is normal. Area 0.80 as being an extreme. So these bands have adjusted for this market. So last week it kind of peaked into the lower band, which has been an extreme, hasn't resulted in any major corrections. But this just tells us that risk for longs is historically high. And so this idea of potentially this even being a breakout failure, just thinking about the way the markets were, trading psychology, everybody was like gung-ho on Friday into the close. Market's going to go higher. Who cares that it's been going up for so many months, so on and so forth. For prices to close under that low, just from a, catching traders on the wrong side at the worst possible moment with these internals, that is what we've seen over decades, that this pattern has the potential to fail, even though it better not with these internals. So we'll see what plays out today. It's soaring further higher today. Well, bonds continue lower, heading down toward our target area into this prior low. And they're dropping pretty sharply here today. And oil is up. Oil kind of backing off from where it was, but I think oil stocks with crude oil at these prices, even if they pull back, that's supportive for oil ETFs and oil stocks. Now, gold continues to disappoint. Last week I said if it could turn around, this sell set up should fail. No, it didn't. Even though buyers stepped up on Friday, heading back down, and now we don't have a momentum move to the downside. So it's not the opposite of the Russell, meaning where we can an M top, but could this turn into a W bottom? Yes. We've got this low here. The monthly trend is still up, but buyers need to show up here and show some commitment to gold if they're going to, because it just, It's just consolidating on the weekly, but the daily deteriorating further. Um, Silver has been outperforming, backing off today. So it's just kind of patterns that, big wide range bar down. The ideal pattern here is to get some kind of consolidation or retest. So waiting on that. And the transports, we always look at, you know, that's the Russell. Clicked the wrong one. Um, they made it right back up to the high. So they're at the top of the trading range now. So overall, the patterns that we looked at, the transports which had broken and completely recovered in this wide range bar, I would be a bit cautious with longs today as bullishly as Friday was into the close. We'll see where things go, whether it's just chops around or if it actually fails in the next day or two. So there you go. All yours, Dan.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I don't know if Greg mentioned this term, the end of day market rally on Friday. There's spiders. I mean, they're all the same, but this is what we call an end of day rally. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half. It went straight up from here to here. And then we're gapping up from an end of day rally. Usually, yeah, that's not a good long. We like the end of day basis. So that's just another caveat here, even though, we've been shaking our head about this historic amount of bullishness. We're trading, we got 100% bullish positions on, with two exceptions. Tesla, we have a condor, which is neutral, out of the money put spread, out of the money call spread. And then this Futu, we have a call spread. We're short the 200s. We covered half already into weakness on Friday. So even with the little gap up here with the time decay, that shouldn't hurt us at all. JetBlue, yeah, airlines. Yeah, JetBlue looks good. I like UAL over the high. I like SkyWest. Nice bullish consolidation here, bullish weekly, monthly. Like Jets are, it is what it is. I mean, that's a bullish move, bullish consolidation, bullish weekly, monthly. Say higher. Let's go to gappers here. PDAC 1560. I think this is one of these SPAC things. I don't know what's up with this thing. $20 to 33. WBAI. Nothing to do with that. Allie Thomas. Yep. Yeah. Bullish consolidation. Yeah, that looks great. Strong trend. Banking sector. Banks have been doing well. And they like the increasing yields. TBT. We've been long this in our ETF trader for a long time. When, yeah, I had it on my watch list last Wednesday when it traded over this red bar, and then Thursday I kind of deleted it from my watch list. But it's holding. It's holding, and I like the weekly, monthly. I think you might get $10 out of that. Gapping up here. So it's going to make new entries a little harder. HYLN. Eric's asking. Let's see, 1939. So it's gapping up 50 cents. An inside day, 50-cent gap ups going to be kind of neutral, but 30-minute high, I think is fine. It's a nice 15-minute chart, just going sideways. So 30-minute high is just kind of a nice, safe little rule. Sandal, marijuana stocks. This was a Reddit pump. This also maybe a 30-minute high, has a price way to the high twos. And Tiffany sent me a big Reddit post by somebody where he's trying to pump, give this idea. I mean, the guy said, I'm just paraphrasing, that APHA is going to acquire Tilray, and I don't know, in a month or two, whatever, but they're going to stay under the Tilray name, and he thinks there's an arbitrage by shorting that he says, oh, based on that, this is trading at a 30% discount. Right. So, right. But what I told Tiffany, I'm like, there's no gifts. I gave her the whole story. But what I did tell her, I said, what does interest me is that, right? We trade news. We trade how people are going to react to that news. So if they are pumping a story that is bullish, let's see if there's a bullish pattern for us. And so that's what I told her. I said, would I be more interested in Tiff? Let's find, I don't care about your arbing, whatever, that's not my bag, but let's see if we can find a bullish, just long on APHA. Diego GM intraday, workforce. Yeah, it's gapped up coming in. See if you can get a reversal here and then just time it with the broader markets. Workhorse. I don't like the daily at all. I don't like the daily. It's, it had a failed buy setup, a deep retracement, negated this whole big green bar. Date, I don't know. It's just, I'm sitting here trying to look for reasons to answer your question, but it's not high quality. Eric EV. It's going sideways. Over last week's high, looks fine. Swabby as a guns. Biden's out there pounding the table that he wants more gun control. So, I just see if there's any opportunity in these gun stocks. It's kind of mixed reaction, right? So he wants gun control. Okay, well, what should that do to the stock? Up, down, or sideways? Because if you're going to make it harder to buy them, then that's less demand, and then that's bearish. But then maybe short term is, oh, people are going to rush out there to buy them before they get restricted. And that's why we just look at the chart. That's all we care about. AAP had earnings 155. There's no pattern. Geo 908, small gap, but no pattern. BKI, I like this consolidation a lot after this greater than 100% retracement. I can't tell where it's gapping, but it had earnings, so over Friday's high. I like that. True. I see one print down here, but I don't know. We'll come back to it. If it opens flat and trades over Friday's high, then McGraw, I like TRU for put spread. Saber, 1139. I don't know, maybe 30-minute high day trade, but I don't like the way it trades intraday. ZTS 169, gap and resistance. no interest. VC on earnings, but can't tell where it's trading. 35. Bearish gap, price void, 30-minute low maybe. LPX gapping up, 45 and change. Looks like all-time highs. That's bullish, but need a pullback. Oh yeah, Bitcoin all-time highs. Mara, there's just no pattern. That's the problem. So block is up again. BitW, we're long this. So that's Square. You know, it's been a Bitcoin trade that's gapping up. The ARC lady, ARC F, that's gapping up again. Look at this. Look at that. Barely, just Friday, barely trades under a prior bar's low. No pattern. No pattern. That looks like a bad tick also. TRCH, 4 and change. Gap's too big, but it kind of has the flavor of a Reddit Wall Street Boys pump. This looks like a pump. This looks like a pump. MP, do you remember we had this as a long watch on this day? Then it gapped up. Then it kind of had a deeper tracement and I stopped watching it, but now it's gapping up here to 39. It's worth watching. We'll see how it sets up. AutoNation, gapping to all-time highs. Earnings, nice 180 reversal on the weekly. That looks higher. Apron, we actually have a put spread on this that we're going to hold into earnings. We have a $7.50 put. I mean, but for earnings, if this trades over this red bar, then over this red bar, I like it as a directional. Yeah, Greg, I had to read your post there twice because we're in Alpha Romeo, and I thought you were saying you wanted them to start trailing a 15-minute bar's low.
No,
But this, yeah.
Talking about the government's trying to stop people from buying guns. And
But this, remember, this is a core trade of ours. Look at that. We bought it at $5. We're almost at 100%. Awesome. We managed that one. Fantastic. CVS had earnings. That's one that I said that I would have given us another put spread in the weekend letter, but for earnings.
all right, we're having a similar kind of morning trading the E-minis anyway, whereas it's just a difficult not price action in that you've got the 24-hour market having rolled over. So there's resistance overhead. Yet the day chart, when I say day chart, I'm talking about looking at like SPY, Qs, 9:30 to 4 o'clock. They're gapping up. So now you've got a little bit of a void, but things were basing on the 5-minute. So it's not the kind of, even though the 24 hours have rolled over, it's not the kind of pattern that is a high probability short. But into the gap fill right now, the Russell is the weakest in the Dow. But, when they're in alignment, it's like shooting, when they say fish in a barrel. They haven't been in alignment that much lately. So let's see how things shape up here. Citibank gapped higher. You know what? I got to get the MT Live for YouTube. the link. I didn't do that this morning.
Yeah, so this can here, gap and crap, far from the 20. Utu. Let's move this stuff.